Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third episode of the Greece series. You're covering the Syros Islands. Today we have an interesting personality joining us, Mr. Nomikos. He's a hotelier and official guide of the island Syros. Welcome to our show, sir. So before we take a deep dive into the brass tacks, you could put some light on your journey into the travel industry and what have been your learnings around it?
I used to be at the hotels since I was 10. My mother and my father, they do create a hotel, a resort in Syros Island. So I grabbed the idea in order to be a professional, and in the majority tourism person. Syros Island, it's not really a huge destination all over the world. It's well known in Greece. Many Greeks are coming. So I'm trying to use my knowledge. I had a diploma in hotel management in Switzerland, and then I used to work for tourism since I have this diploma in hotel management. But once I'm one of the youngest people that they do have this diploma in Syros, I try to influence the tourism reality in Syros. So by the Hoteliers Union, by the people that are interested in Syros in order to create a great destination, the island to become a great destination in the foreign market, I try to get some seminars. It was to be a tour guide. So I used to have many lessons, many seminars, and then I become a tour guide in reality. So the first times in Greek language and then in English and French that I'm speaking fluently, I try to do something like that, and I'm trying to influence other guides to become here in Syros, and then I'm trying to give the huge icon of the island to foreigners, to visitors.
So given you're known as the man, the official guide, and someone who knows every nook and corner of the island, and given your deep understanding about the destination, there are a lot of unexplored parts of the island. And does that really impact tourism retention?
I have to tell you that I'm not just a guide, I'm an inhabitant of this island. So I'm trying to find different places in order to be shown to the visitors. So I will tell you that the main thing that the island is that is not well influenced by tourism. So we can have how we call it, live as an inhabitant, as a local. So we used to do that as tourists. I wonder if I go to India, I wanted to get an influence from a local, to live like a local. So there are some things that here in Syros is the majority of the things that we can do. There are things that, like the Greek small tavernas, that are, you can have small things of variety of tastes of Kyklades, let's say, of Syros specifically, that we can have it when we go to see some monuments, some well-known places for the inhabitants. And I can tell you that the majority of the main point of the island is that we have the influence of, especially at the history, but in our lives too, that is an island who has at the same religion two dogmas. We are at the same time 50% Catholics and 50% Orthodox, and that comes from the history of the island. And that gives a great impression, a great success in our lives as locals.
So what are the must-visit places on the islands? So if you were to list it down as top 10, what's your recommendation?
My recommendation is to somehow to divide our visit into three parts. The first part is Anos Syros. Anos Syros is a great medieval settlement. It's a medieval castle without the borders. I mean, the outside walls of the houses are creating a castle, are so thick that are creating a castle. So we can have right there, it's the Catholic part. It used to be the Catholic part. That comes out from the history of the island. And I will tell you, if we have time later on, what's the period of the history that comes to the influence this castle. So it's a medieval settlement, it's a medieval castle. So we can have in mind that we can have an impression of Cycladic part. It's an icon of Cyclades. I can tell you that we can see, like all the other islands of Kyklades, like Mykonos cities, but in a castle on a hill. We have steps, we have small roads, we have so-called labyrinthos. I mean, we need a help to go inside and come back, because otherwise we won't find the right way to come back. And then we can have small cafes, small places to tavernas to have to eat, and then we can have also some markets, some places in order to have souvenirs. All this that I mentioned, we can have it on a hill with a view to the port, which during the afternoon and especially during the night, it gives you an impression with the lights on that we are, how we call it, it's not a hill. It's not only a hill, that it gives an impression that we are on the sky and we can see the earth. So that gives a great impression to the visitors in order to have a coffee or food Cycladic taste with a view to the port from the sky. That's the first thing that we can have. We can also visit the Catholic churches and the Catholic way of living, because I told you that the first thing is that from the history of the island, it's a Catholic part. It's the Catholic part. Then we can have a visit at Thermopolis, at the main capital of Kyklades, of all the island of Kyklades. We can visit a neoclassical style city, which gives an impression. It comes out of another part of the history of the island and can gives us the impression that we are in a city center of a capital in the middle of Europe. Yes, in the middle of Europe, and we are not in the middle of Europe, we are in the middle of Kyklades Island. No one can believe that, but you can have a view of a great town hall, which is a building of Schiller, a Bavarian architecture. We have La Piccola Scala. It's a theater of Apollon, and we call it La Piccola Scala, which is somehow a miniature of La Scala of Milan in the middle of the Aegean. Those two things are giving you the impressions that you are not in Syros, is giving you the impression that you are in a capital of a European, a capital of Europe. Let's say that you have an imagination that you are in Venice, you are in Milan, you are in Austria, in Vienna, but at the same time you are in Syros, and after that you can have a visit at the nearest beach in order to enjoy the hot and great beach for a swim. At the same time, we can have in Thermopolis a visit at the other dogmas churches. I mean, we are at the Orthodox part of the island, so we can have a visit at the huge St. Nicholas Church, which gives you the impression that you are in the biggest church in the world. Somehow it's very rich, and you can see how the Orthodox Church will give you the dogmas style.
Syros seems like an island with sun, sand and sea, plus rich culture and heritage. It's a combination of, culmination of things on the island.
Yes, I can tell you, I am Greek. I am a Greek man, so I can tell you that we have in Greece great prefectures. We can have almost everything from the north part of Greece to the south part of Greece. We can have different views. I can tell you that in Syros we can combine a lot of things. I mean, we are at the same time in an island. That we can enjoy sea, sun, food. All our beaches are sandy, and at the same time we can have a piece of history, a piece of great monuments. At the same time, we can have an imagination that we are not in the middle of the Aegean.
And you just mentioned about food. So, if there's a tourist coming onto the island, what are the gastronomical experience that somebody can look forward to?
I can tell you that there is no any typical Syros product except lukumi, which are the Syros delights. I think that you have tasted the Turkish delights, which are small pieces of sweets with a lot of powdered sugar. The same, because we do have the influence of the Turkish in Greece. Syros delights as of a sweet, but in general, I can tell you that the main tastes of Syros, as of the gastronomy, as of the salty part of the tongue, it's a generality of Kyklades, but we do have chefs, new chefs that are having that they got those cycladic tastes in order to produce many plates that they do have the Mediterranean taste, as I can tell you.
Sounds interesting and sounds delicious. I think there's a huge Turkish influence on gastronomy when it comes to Syros as an island. Before we sign off, a lot of viewers out there watching this interview. So, is there any message that you want to convey?
I have to tell that there are a lot of things to do when somebody comes and visits Syros. I mean, it's not an island that is noisy. It's not an island that somebody can come and have an extra or extremely out of order nightlife. But you can have this in Mykonos if you want it, which is the liaison is great, and we can have it in 3 quarters, which is the maximum period, the maximum time that can a boat last in order to go in Mykonos. We are near, we are very close, but in Syros, as I've told you, we can have many more things out of the history that somebody can hear and see at the same time, with a great taste of Greek and Mediterranean Greek and cycladic taste, and can have relaxing, sunbathing, and great Aegean waters feeling.
So there's lots to offer as an island, I believe, and I'm sure the viewers will be very interested to get there and experience it. Thank you very much for the insightful session, and looking forward.
Thank you very much, Arun. Have a nice time. Thank you to everyone that sees this video, gives some time in order to spend to hear some things for my island. And I can tell anyone that if comes in Greece, and especially in Syros, will get great memories to go travel back in India.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.